Hey everyone, ahlan wa sahlan fikum. Welcome back. Today we're going to do an annotated transcript, which was a bit unexpected actually. So I want to give a quick update about what's going on right now. Actually, my computer broke down over the weekend, so I'm actually working kind of without my computer. I've been able to set up on another computer, but it's all been very complicated and I don't have access to all the things that I usually use to make videos, including like a video editing kind of software and so on. So, but the annotated transcript is kind of easier because I can just, I mean, my camera still works and I can just use, the PDF that's already created and then just kind of like record the screen and so on. So this is kind of the only thing I can do actually. So that's kind of why we're doing this week. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I mean, hopefully the computer will be repaired pretty quickly. But yeah, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at an annotated transcript that I made quite a while ago. So I don't know if you remember, but I made a video about the word biddi, where I focused on this word and how it appeared in a particular video, one of the annotated transcript videos. But I basically the video was like 5 minutes long or something, but I only talked about the first like minute or 2 minutes of the video. So that first section of the whole annotated transcript, just to focus on the word biddi. So I did that like quite a while ago, but that biddi video is basically part one of this transcript. And what we're going to do today is do the whole rest of the video and the whole rest of that transcript. So this is basically part two of the biddi video in a way, because it's the latter part of that transcript. I wasn't necessarily going to actually do the rest of the transcript originally because it's not that it's very long, but I thought, I don't know, because the biddi video was kind of self-contained, so I wasn't sure. But given the circumstances, I thought, well, why not? I mean, I can do it. And besides, it seems I've actually gotten a lot of very positive feedback about the annotated transcripts, and people really like those. So here we are. I'm going to do the rest of that. What was the fourth annotated transcript? The fifth one is actually the one about Jordan, a video about Jordan that I posted a couple of weeks ago. So this is part two of the fourth one. So yeah, if you want to get sort of do them in order or something like that, then go ahead and go watch that biddi one where it's like everything you need to know about biddi. That's part one of this. And in fact, because there's a number of scenes and kind of a lot being said in this second part, I'm going to go through it much more quickly. So this is, it's not that it's a more advanced video, but yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm just not going to go, point by point as I usually do, just so that we just kind of cover all of it. Especially if you've been doing all the annotated transcripts, at this point, it should not be you should be familiar with a lot of the things that we're going to see. Yeah, I think that's mostly what I had to say. So let's go ahead and there we go. Okay, so and also what I'm going to do is normally I read the whole transcript and then I go back and go line by line. But I don't really know. I mean, I'm not really going to do that because I think that you can either just watch the video to just hear it all in a sort of natural way. And instead, I'm just going to, because a lot of people have said that I should be more clear in my pronunciation or like speak very, slowly when I say these sentences and so on. So just to be very articulate with the single sentences, I'm going to devote more attention to that rather than, just read the whole transcript without explaining once before. I don't really think that's necessary at this point. So unless you think it does or it is important, then go ahead and comment that. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just going to start right away and go line by line. So let's get started. Okay, so the dad comes in to the house and he says, Marhaba ya halween. Marhaba, hello. Okay, fine. I don't need to explain that. Marhaba ya halween. Ahlan baba. Hi baba. Ahlan is to ahlan. So ahlan sahlan. Ahlan. Ahlan is to ahlan. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the mother comes in and she says, Ya'atik al-afiyah. This is something that we say when someone is working or has just finished work or has, exerted efforts, right? So it's like a way of showing appreciation, good work or good job. I translate it as welcome back from work. It's not really a translation. It's just what we might say in English, I guess. So, يعطيك العافية. خليني أقوم. So, she says أقوم. خليني, allow me to get up. and أجهز لك, جهز to prepare, أجهز لك for you. So let me get up and prepare for you الأكل, the food. So yeah, let me get up and make some food for you. And he says, ما تغلبي حالك حبيبتي. So غلب is to bother. So ما تغلبي, don't bother you, حالك, so yourself. So don't bother yourself, my dear. نفسي, my mind. نفسي مسدودة. Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like my mind is blocked. But I mean, I wrote like I've lost my appetite. It's just kind of like, yeah, I can't. I'm not in the mood, so to speak. Could be another way to interpret this. So نفسي مسدودة بعد هالخبر اللي سمعته. So بعد هالخبر is this news. Actually, the word news usually is أخبار, but in English we just say news. There's no singular. There's no one new, right? It's all news. In Arabic, you do have أخبار, news, and khabar is like one news or one particular thing. So it's the singular of أخبار. So I'm not in the mood, or my mind is sort of bothered after this news اللي سمعته, that I heard it, right? Because remember how the اللي clause works. It has it's خبر, so the noun, then اللي, then whatever the verb is, so سمعت, so this news that I heard, but then you have to refer back to the original thing, so with the suffix. So this news that I heard it. So الخبر اللي سمعته, right? So yeah, so anyway, after this news that I heard. Okay, so Imsanad says, خبر شو, what news? خير, خير means like good, right? So is everything all right? It's basically what she's asking. And then, so the father says, Talal, it's a name. Talal, ibn Abu Talal, so the son of Abu Talal. تعرفيهم, so تعرفي is you know for the female, because he's talking to the mom. تعرفيهم, you know them. Yeah, I just wanted to mention something. This is more of a cultural thing, but often, so people have their own names. Like I'm Adrian, okay? But then often people are also known as like in reference to who your like firstborn son is. Actually, I should have mentioned this at the very beginning, because as you can see, like the mother and the father's name in the transcripts is just Sanad, mother of Sanad, and Abu Sanad, father of Sanad. Actually, they have real names as well. Like I think the mother, her name is Dina or Dima. I don't know I forgot what the father's name is, but they refer to each other often that way, like the father to the mother. It's like Dima or Dina. But especially when well, yeah, in reference to other people and so on, often, yeah, this is used. So so the reason I mention it is because it's funny to say Talal ibn Abu Talal, like Talal, the son of the father of Talal. It's like, okay, duh, like it's kind of redundant, but I thought it was funny. So yeah, just a cultural note, I guess. Oh, and by the way, you can also use this even if someone doesn't have a child yet, and it's kind of like assuming what their child's name will be. Okay, I don't want to get into it. It's interesting though. It's cool, but yeah, okay. اللي عندهم, so talking about who this person is. اللي عندهم مكتبة, so the ones who have a bookstore. عندهم is so they have in reference to the family of the Abu Talal family. So the ones who have a bookstore, بآخر الشارع, so at the end of the street. آخر is the last, or the end. Well, it doesn't mean the end, but it's like the last of the street, الشارع. شو ماله? Remember, mal plus the suffix is like what's wrong with someone, or what's wrong with them, but not like in an accusatory way, just like in a genuinely concerned way. So yeah, so what's wrong with Talal? كان بيلعب, he was playing. Yeah, remember, well, I said I wasn't going to go into too much detail, but here I am. So بيلعب means to play, or he's playing. Well, okay, so it can be either he plays in general, or he is playing, right? Because the present the present tense verb in Arabic can be either just a simple present like I eat or I drink or I play, or continuous. I am eating, I am drinking, I am playing. And when you want to say it in the past tense, I was playing or I was drinking or I was eating, then it's أنا كنت بلعب, or in this case كان بلعب. So he was playing بالشارع, so he was playing in the street جنب المكتبة, so next to the bookstore. كان بلعب بالشارع جنب المكتبة. Okay. وإجت سيارة, and a car came. بتسأله, so وإجت سيارة, and a car came asking him, بتسأله in the feminine form because سيارة is feminine. So and a car came asking him, as in طلال, the child, عن صيدلية قريبة. وإجت سيارة بتسأله عن صيدلية قريبة. So and a car came asking him about a pharmacy nearby, or a nearby pharmacy. تخيلي, so he's speaking to the mother. Imagine, so تخيل means to imagine, so تخيلي, imagine. حاولوا يخطفوه, so خطف means to kidnap someone. So حاولوا means they attempted to. So حاول or جرب, they both mean to try to do something. So حاولوا يخطفوه. It's a kind of a vague they, right? They tried to kidnap him. I guess the people in the car. So they tried to kidnap him. الله ستر إنه أبوه كان بالمكتبة وانتبه. So let's say thank God. It's just an expression, right? إنه that أبوه, so his father, so the child's father. So thank God that his father كان بالمكتبة, was in the bookstore, or in the store. Well, no, in the bookstore. And انتبه. So انتبه means to notice something. So he noticed. Or لاحظ is another verb for to notice. But yeah, so he noticed. ولا, so in this case it's kind of like otherwise. ولا كان راح فيها الولد. ولا كان راح فيها الولد. Otherwise, it's kind of a weird grammar in this case, but it's like saying he would have gone. So راح فيها, he went in it, as in the car. فيها is in the car. So راح فيها is he went in it, but in this case كان راح فيها is like he would have. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I'll definitely, I'll be making a video where I will probably explain like these sort of, this is not really, well, it's kind of like a conditional or adjacent to a conditional, where it's like sort of counterfactual statement. He would have gone rather than he went. But that's what it's meaning in this case. So just so you know. Oops. Okay. شو بتحكي? What are you saying? شو بتحكي? معقول? I've talked about this word a million times. That's her favorite word. She says it in every video. This means like, could it be, or is it possible? So شو بتحكي? معقول? شو صاير بهالدنيا? صاير, active participle of صار, to happen. So what is happening in this world? Or, well, yeah, in this world or in the world. الدنيا, remember, is the world. Well, yeah, so anyway. Okay, and he says, زي ما بقول لك, as I'm telling you. زي ما, as, بقول لك, as I'm telling you. The ma is used just when there's a verb after. So زي, I don't know. Yeah, زي, if it's just زي, a noun, like زي السيارة, like the car. I don't know, that doesn't mean anything. But yeah, that would just be زي plus noun. But if you have a verb, then you need the me, because it creates this kind of subjunctive, I guess. But yeah, so زي ما بقول لك. So as I'm telling you, not زي بقول لك, زي ما بقول لك. So as I'm telling you. والشرطة, so, and the police, الشرطة is the police. والشرطة هيها عم بتدور على السيارة. This is a fantastic phrase, actually, because I've talked about this in another video where I talked about present continuous and ongoing actions. So I just said that the regular present tense, like أنا بشرب, means I'm drinking, right? So the simple present can also be a continuous action, but there's other things that you can use to emphasize that continuous action. So to really, yeah, to just to emphasize it. Um, so you could have said, and those words are two words. So it's and hey, this word right here, plus a suffix. If I mean either plus a suffix or unless the noun comes right after, but in this case it doesn't. So, well, the ha is referring back um, to the shorta. So these words are optional. You could have said الشرطة بتدور على السيارة. The police is looking for the car. But it's like that's why I wrote right now here at the end because it's really emphasizing like yeah, and right now the police is looking for the car. So the am really emphasizes an ongoing action. The hey also does, but what the hey sort of means in a way is like here it is, or yeah, it's like almost it's not like showing someone, but it's like yeah, it's kind of like saying here it is. Actually, I compared it to the word voila in French. So yeah, so if I said a short or hey shurta, it means here's the police. If I said that, hey shurta, here's the police. Um, so in this case, الشرطة هيها عم بتدور على السيارة. So the police, check it out. It's looking for the car right now. It's kind of like saying that in a way. So it's just emphasizing an ongoing action, but it'll come up several times in the rest of the text actually. So I just wanted to flag it. Okay. And then Sanad is saying to his sister, معقول نفس السيارة. So the thing is, in the first half, if you watch that so the video where I talked about Biddi especially, the first half of this transcript, what was happening was that literally a car came and was talking to the boy, Sened, basically talking about a pharmacy and asking about a pharmacy and telling the boy to get in the car. And Sally, the sister, got her brother and got him to not get in the car with these strangers. So that was the first scene, and then now the father is talking about how that happened to another boy, and the boy almost got kidnapped. So now Sened is like, oh my gosh, was the car that almost kidnapped that boy? Was it the same car that came up to me? Right. So Sened says, معقول نفس السيارة? So could it be that it's the same car? And then Sally whispers to him, يلا, come on, let's go. احكي لهم, tell them شو صار, tell them what happened. معقول نفس السيارة؟ يلا احكي لهم شو صار. أصلا, and then there's a little bit of a sort of transition, like a pause or a cut, I guess. So it's kind of the same scene though. Now he's just telling the story. أصلا أنا أكيد ما كنت راح أطلع معهم. So أصلا, I've talked about it before. It's kind of just like to begin with, or like not actually. Sometimes it can be like already, or yeah, to begin with. So here I kind of translated it as first of all. It just kind of depends on the context, but it's also not a particularly kind of meaningful word. It can be kind of like, I mean, it's sort of like yani in the sense that you can translate it different ways depending on sort of what the sentence is about overall. So أصلا أنا أكيد ما كنت راح أطلع معهم. So أصلا أنا أكيد, I of course. Okay, so أكيد means of course or certainly. So of course I ما كنت راح, I was not going to أطلع, to leave, معهم, with them. So أطلع, I leave. راح أطلع, I'm going to leave. كنت راح أطلع, I was going to leave. ما كنت راح أطلع, I was not going to leave معهم, with them. So yeah, that's what this whole phrase is. And then Sally is mocking him. She says, أكيد يا حرام الزلمة ابن مريض يموت يعني. Because, and by the way, I actually noticed earlier that this is a little bit of a mistake because basically she's quoting what Sened said in the first scene, because the sister scolded Sened for almost getting in a car with the strangers, and Sened responded, يا حرام الزلمة ابنه, or بده أدله على الصيدلية, or something like that. Like the guy wants me to show him to the pharmacy. So I copied and pasted that, but it turns out that she didn't actually quote him exactly. So what this should actually say, or and what she actually says here, is of course, sure, ya haram, um, so the man, his son is sick. Imut yani, should he die? So basically, let me explain a little bit. So ya haram, first of all, is like saying, um, uh, how could you even explain this? It's like um, kind of like saying, oh, you shouldn't. I don't know. It just depends on the context. It's haram is first of all, it comes from like Islam, I guess. I mean, it's something that is not allowed or something that's wrong to do. So if you do something wrong unto someone else, you would say haram, like you shouldn't do that. Like it's not nice for you to do that. So it's like ya haram to not help the guy who's asking for help. So yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. So ya haram, like how could you say that? Like, because she had scolded him for trying to help the guys who wanted to go to take, and the guy's in the car anyway. So how could you say that? The guy, his son is sick. Imut yani, so imut, it's in the subjunctive because it's like, should he die, or like what is he supposed to just die because I'm not going to help him, right? So that's what he's that's what she's quoting him as saying, although that's not actually what he said earlier, but it's essentially what he said. Ooh, I don't know what I did. Okay, here we are. Okay, anyway, so then the father comes in and he says, "Addish marra hakena." How many times? Addish, how much or how many? Marra, one time. So addish marra, how many times? And in English we say times in how many times, but in Arabic it's the singular. So addish marra, how many times? Hakena, did we say? Did we speak? Did we talk about this? Owak. Okay, I'll just say the sentence first of all. قديش مرة حكينا أوعك تحكي للغرباء أي معلومات عنك. So how many times did we speak or did we say أوعك, be wary, I guess is one way to translate this. It literally means like to be wary of something or be alert as to something. But another way, within this context, it's like saying don't do something in a way. It's like careful not to do yeah, careful not to talk to strangers, sort of like that. Like it's like, yeah. So it technically has to do with being aware or alert about something, but it's like saying don't do something. So um, careful not to, or yeah, let's say careful not to تحكي, to speak, للغرباء, to strangers. So this is actually a plural of غريب. غريب means strange, right? So a stranger. حدا غريب, a stranger. غرباء, strangers. So careful not to speak to strangers. أي معلومات, any informations. Actually, it's in the plural. معلومة is information. Well, yeah. So معلومات, معلومات also means information, but it's like plural actually. Um, so careful not to tell strangers any information عنك, about you. Actually, haka can really be translated many different ways. To speak, to say, although al is or al is to say, like strictly speaking, but haka can be to say or to speak or to tell someone. So how many times did we say, right? And that's the first haka, not to tell strangers any information about you. In English, we use these different words depending on what we mean, but in Arabic, haka kind of covers a lot of things. So yeah, so don't tell strangers any information about yourself. La ismak, not your name. Yeah, actually, we're about to see a lot of kind of different but analogous words like la and wala and like what else do they say? Well, we're going to see all of it, but yeah, just don't overthink it. Obviously, normally in the dialect, la means no, but then to negate something, you use ma. But in certain cases, you can actually use la to negate, but it has I mean, it's not sort of generalizable. In this case, it's because it's like saying, yeah, it's like not your name or where your house is or blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to read it. Okay. لا اسمك ولا وين بيتك ولا مدرستك. Remember, wala is a way, well, it's like saying, kind of depends on the sentence, but um, it's it's a way of saying not a single one of something in certain circumstances. So, wala sayyara means not a single car. Wala hada means nobody, not a single person. Wala ishi, not a single thing or nothing. But actually, well, actually, in this case, it's kind of like, obviously, it's like no. So in some sentences, it can also mean like nor, as we would say in English, nor. So not this, nor that, nor that. So yeah, the word, it does have kind of different meanings. Well, very slightly different meanings depending on the sentence. But yeah, I mean, think about it. Think about it this way: you have the word la, and then wala is literally, I mean, if you split it up, it's like wa, which means and la means not. Not this, and not that, and not that. So not this, nor that, nor that. It's, I mean, it's actually, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory in that sense. So لا اسمك ولا وين بيتك ولا مدرستك. So not your name, nor where you live, وين بيتك, or where your house is, nor your school. مدرسة مدرستك. ولا بنطلع, and we don't leave, ولا بنطلع مع حدا غريب. Yeah, so حدا غريب is a stranger or someone unfamiliar. So nor do we leave with someone, with a stranger. And then she says, Sally says, ولا, I put sukun because it's not wala, it's u and no. So, oh, and no. بقول عني محقق كونان كمان. So ولا, not ولا. ولا بقول عني محقق كونان كمان. This means, and no. He says about me محقق كونان كمان, because that's what he said earlier in the first half of the video, or yeah, in the beginning. This is a cartoon character, by the way. So yeah, and بقول عني, he says about me, but it's like saying he calls me Detective Conan as well, because she was sort of telling him to, I don't know, be wary of strangers and stuff like that, I guess. Anyway, then the mother says, وحتى لو حدا حزنك عليه. It's a good sentence. She says, and even if, I like this, actually, this is a great phrase. حتى لو, even if. So لو is if, in addition to إذا. So you have two if. لو or إذا. They both mean if. Although إذا is a bit more generalizable. I mean, لو is also used in many, I mean, can be used kind of in any sentence as well. But yeah, anyway, حتى لو means even if. Even if حدا, someone, حزنك عليه. So this this root, zain and noon, this relates to sadness. So ana hazin means I'm sad. And hazan is form 2. It means to make someone sad, to sadden someone. So even if someone saddened you, عليه, on him, so it's like saying, even if someone makes you feel sorry for him or them, then utalab, so even if someone makes you feel sorry for them, or made you feel sorry for them, because it's in the past tense, utalab minnek, and asked from you and requested from you, تروح معه وتساعده. Okay, let me say that again. وطلب منك تروح معه وتساعده. So, and asked from you that you go with him and help him. So even if someone makes you feel sorry for them and asks you to go with them to help, ما لازم ترد. So anyway, ما لازم ترد. You don't need to actually, well, okay, so إراد means to answer. So you could translate this as you don't need to answer, or you don't, yeah. but in other circumstances, rad can mean like to do as someone says. So actually, that wasn't one of the transcripts before. The sentence was something like, um, it was like, it sounded like it meant to answer to your parents, but it means to do as your parents say. It's like to, yeah, follow your parents' sort of orders. Because there was a kid who was telling Sanad, like, oh, you listen to your parents? And the verb used was rat, which means to answer, but it also means to do as someone says. So you shouldn't do as they say, right? So even if someone makes you feel sorry and asks for help and so on, you don't need to do as they say. ما لازم ترد. You don't need to do as they say. وبتقول له, and you tell them, yeah, and you tell them, روح اطلب, so go ask or go request مساعدة, so go request help من حدا كبير, go ask for help from someone big, means an adult, an adult. Actually, kabir by itself, it means big, but it also means adult. So hada kabir means someone who is an adult. So yeah, you don't need, or okay, ما لازم ترد وبتقول له روح اطلب مساعدة من حدا كبير. You don't need to answer, or you don't need to do as they say, and you tell them go ask for help from an adult. وحتى لو قال لك, and even if he told you, but remember that all of these he forms, it's generic, so it's actually he or she or they or whichever one we should, I mean, if you want to use they as a singular, we can. So حتى لو قال لك, and even if they told you, البابا والماما, mom and dad, بيقولوا لك, are telling you, تعال, now I'm doing this sentence because it actually is one sentence. And even if, so حتى لو قال لك البابا والماما بيقولوا لك تعال اطلع معي, let's do that. So, and even if, حتى لو, and even if they told you that mom and dad are telling you, come leave, come leave with me, ما ترد عليهم, so don't do as they say, or don't answer them. Yeah, so don't do as they say. Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, I guess what I think they're trying to say is like, even if the stranger tells you that, oh no, your mom and dad know me, and they said that you should come with me. You know, like I think that's what they're saying. So, yeah. So even if they say that your mom and your dad are saying that you should come with me, then you know you don't do as they say. And then the dad says, "Bravo aleki." So now he's speaking to the daughter, because the daughter stopped the son from going with the stranger. So the father says, "Bravo aleki ya baba," and you know he's talking to the girl because he says aleki, right? Instead of alek, which is for masculine, aleki is for feminine. Remember that. So okay, so depending on the word, the suffix for huwa, or no, let me start over. Depending on the word, the male and female you suffixes can be a little bit different. So normally it's ak with an a, ak for male you, so betak, or let's say kifak, right? So that's for male. And then female would be ek, so kifek. So kifek for male, kifek for female. But mainly, basically, when there's a vowel before the K already, then obviously the ek and the ak difference is not going to be possible. So the just the K by itself would be male, and then ki would become female. So because you can't say, well, yeah, so alek, you already have the a before the K, so you can't do ak ek. So instead, to make it female, you add the yeah. So aleki. So bravo aleki, ya baba. Remember, baba and mama can be used like back and forth between parents and children and all genders. So a boy can say to his mom, ya mama, and vice versa. And in this case, the father. So earlier, the girl said to her dad, ya baba, or ahlen baba, and now the father is saying to the girl, ya baba. So that's totally fine. So bravo is bravo, right? Like good job. So well done, ya baba, honey. I wrote honey. I don't know what else I should have written. برافو عليك يا بابا إنك, that you, or because. um, so good job. إنك وقفتيه من إنه يطلع. So uh, okay. So وقف means to stop something or to stop someone. So وقفتي means you. Okay, so وقف, to stop, or he stopped. وقفت, I stopped, or you male stopped. وقفتي, you female. So that's why it's وقفتي, because so وقفتي. Actually, this is a good example of how the suffix for هو, which is ha, when it's preceded by a vowel, as here, so you don't actually hear the ha, but what it does is that it changes where the emphasis is in the word. So وقفتي, you female stopped. وقفتي, you female stopped him, right? So that's tricky maybe, but I don't know. Maybe I'm used to it, but yeah. So وقفتي, you stopped him, female. وقفتي, or sorry, I did it wrong. وقفتي, you stopped, period. But we don't know who. وقفتي, you stopped him. And likewise, let's say خلي. So خلي is a command. And so خلى means to allow someone. خلي means allow someone, but we don't know who. So خلي, and then plus the suffix, it would be خلي. خلي, خلي. خلي, خلي. Allow him. Allow him. And in this case, وقفتي, so وقفتي versus وقفتي. Okay, I think I've exhausted that point, so we're done. But yeah, so good job because you stopped him from going, from yitla, from going with them. Min inno, from that he go with them. Anyway. بس كان لازم. Okay, so لازم means something is necessary or you should do something. So لازم أحكي, I must speak, or I should speak. كان لازم, you should have spoken. كان لازم تحكي, you should have spoken معنا, with us. على طول means directly, or in this case like immediately. So بس كان لازم تحكي معنا على طول وتخبرينا. So, but you should have spoken to us directly or right away or immediately, and inform us and let us know. So خبر, to inform. Actually, this comes from the root of أخبار, or خبر, right? So خبر means to inform or to let someone know about something. So كان لازم تخبرينا, you should have informed us. Remember that it's in the female because he's speaking to the daughter. So not تخبرنا, that would be male, you. So you male, تخبرنا, you female, تخبرينا, right? Okay, and then Sanad says, أنا غلطت, I made a mistake. So this root, or غلط, means wrong, but it can also be used as a verb. أنا غلطت means I made a mistake or I was wrong. It can also mean I offended someone. متأسف, I'm sorry. Yeah. So asif, actually, you may hear both of these. Asif, I'm sorry. متأسف, I'm sorry. They mean the exact same thing. They're both active participles, but they're active participles of different verb forms. So asif is actually a form 1. So it's in the form of عارف or طالع or I don't know, عامل or anything like that. But because the first letter is actually a hamza, it becomes an alif with the squiggle, the wasla. So it becomes asif. So even though it doesn't look like fa'al, an active participle, it is actually. And likewise, this is an active participle of a form 5 verb. Ta'assaf, mit'assif. Fun grammar stuff. Anyway, then Abu Sanad says, oh, whack. See, again, like be careful technically, but it's like don't. أوعك تعيدها. So عاد, this right here, means to do something again or to repeat something. It can actually be used in different ways. In some cases, it can be used in the negative to say like to not do any, to not go back to doing something or to not repeat something, but the translation would be like to not do anything anymore. So it's a way of saying anymore. And in this case, it's like don't do it anymore in a way. Yeah, I mean, well, not quite. I mean, it just means don't do it again. So أوعك تعيدها, مفهوم, understood. So yeah, don't be careful not to repeat it or don't do it again. It's another way to translate it. احنا بنحكي هالحكي what? احنا بنحكي هالحكي لمصلحتكم. So احنا بنحكي, we say, we are saying this. هالحكي, this talk. We're giving you this talk, I guess. We're saying this speech. So obviously haki is like comes from nehki. So we are speaking this speech, or we're talking this talk for your well-being. So maslahah is like well-being. So لمصلحتكم, for your well-being. Well, yeah, okay. I mean, that's what it means in the sentence. خليني, so let me. So خليني أروح, let me go. عالشرطة, let me go to the police. أبلغ, to report. بلغ, to report something. So خليني أروح عالشرطة, let me go to the police. أبلغ, to report عن اللي صار معكم, about that which happened with you or to you. So خليني أروح عالشرطة أبلغ عن اللي صار معكم. Let me go to the police to report on what happened to you. بابا خذني معك. Dad, take me with you. خذني, take me, معك, with you. أنا متذكر, I remember, I'm remembering. It's active participle, but it means I remember. شكل الزلمة. شكل means shape or form or like appearance of something. So I remember شكل الزلمة, the guy's shape. It's like saying what he looks like. So yeah, that's how you would say what someone looks like. So شكل الزلمة, I remember what the guy looks like. يعني, meaning ممكن أساعد. ممكن means it's possible or I can do something. So ممكن أساعد, I can help. بابا خذني معك. أنا متذكر شكل الزلمة, يعني ممكن أساعد. Dad, take me with you. I remember what the guy looks like, meaning I can help. وأنا يمكن عندي صورة السيارة. And me too, or and me. Maybe, or I might have عندي. So maybe I have the car's picture, the picture of the car. Yeah, so صورة is a picture, السيارة. Yeah, so I might have the car's picture. لما, remember this word means when, but not as in asking a question, but rather I was happy when this happened. So it's kind of, it's similar to illi in a way that it connects like whereas illi connects like a noun or something like that to some kind of relative clause or description, like الزلمة اللي حكيت معه, the guy that I spoke with him. لما is used to connect a time with what happened during that time. So اليوم, well, yeah, anyway, but I guess with لما you don't really need the initial word, so it's just when something happened. So لما, when. كنت بصور, when I was صور means to take a picture. So when I was taking a picture, بالبسة. Bissa is the word for cat, actually. It's not قطة or whatever it's supposed to be, but that's fusha. Or, well, actually, it's used in other places. So it's not exclusively fusha, but in Palestine, this is the word that I would use. I mean, I had a cat in Palestine, and it was bissa. And it was a bissa because it wasn't because it can be male or it can be female. So mine was a bissa. Anyway, so لما كنت بصور بالبسة, when I was taking a picture of the cat, there was some kind of cat. مبينة السيارة من بعيد. So بين, this verb means to appear or to be visible or to show up. So yeah, just let's say to be visible. So in the active participle, مبين means something is appearing or something is visible. So when I was taking a picture of the cat, مبين السيارة. So what I mean the word order is kind of funky, or it's like different from what it would be in English, but it's like the car was visible from afar. You don't really say, I mean, in this case, it's not really in the past tense. Like in English, we would say the car was visible. Here it's just مبين السيارة من بعيد. But I guess it's because it's just the way the whole sentence is structured. You already have the kunt talking about a past situation, and the lamma is talking about, it's like setting you in that time, so it doesn't really need to be in the past tense. So when I was taking a picture of the cat, the car was visible from afar. Min ba'id. Ba'id means far away. So the car was visible from afar. And now they're at the police station. So the police officer is saying, okay, وشو كان لون السيارة? And what was the color of the car? Actually, I wrote what color was the car, but literally would be what was the color of the car. Yeah. And then the answer is السيارة كان لونها, the car, its color was, that's how the sentence is structured in Arabic, but yeah. So the car, its color was أخضر على ذهبي. So the car's color was green, أخضر على ذهبي. So ذهب means gold. So it means like green or golden green. I mean, that's what it would literally be, but it's how in English we say like silver green or silver red or silver. It means like a shiny kind of version of the color, right? So in this case, they instead of saying silver, it's the word gold was used. By the way, I want to say that another way that you could just say the same phrase, like don't get kind of caught up with the fact that it's like السيارة كان لونها, car, its color was. I mean, you could have said لون السيارة, but what this kind of phrasing does is that it sort of it. I mean, it's probably too technical, but it sets up the car as the topic of the sentence, rather than the color being the topic of the sentence. Although that might kind of, you might not really understand the difference or like what that's supposed to mean. I mean, it's kind of a technical point that doesn't really make that much of a difference. But if you're curious about topic marking, it's an interesting topic that I haven't really talked about because it is kind of obscure. But anyway, but you could have said لون السيارة, but then لون السيارة is the topic of the sentence in addition to being the subject of the sentence. Here, the subject of the sentence is actually لون, but the topic is السيارة. And that's why السيارة is the first word. السيارة كان لونها أخضر على ذهبي. Okay, the car's color was silver green. وهي صورتها. Here's hey. So actually, this is a perfect contrast with what the hey that we saw earlier, because earlier it was الشرطة هيها عم what is it? بتدور على السيارة. So here is the police looking, or like the police is looking for the car right now. So in that case, the hey, which was heyha because it was referring to the police. So the ha, yeah, it was to refer back to the police. That was to emphasize an ongoing action. In this case, first of all, we don't have a suffix because, as I said before, the noun is right after. So we don't need the suffix to, I mean, otherwise, we could have said, no. It should be like this. So without a suffix on hay, because the noun comes right after. And in this case, it doesn't mean an ongoing action because anyway, it's a noun and there's no verb. Rather, it's to say here it is, or here's something. So voila. So here's the picture. Here's its picture, the picture of the car. Yeah, okay. And then the police says, شكرا يا أولاد. Thank you, children. Hey, معلومات, this information is جدا مهمة. جدا, I put it in red because it's more of a fusha word, really. But I think because the police is just being more formal. So yeah, thank you, kids. This information is جدا مهمة, very important. And muhim is important. Muhimme, feminine, right? So yeah. And yeah, so muhim means important. There's a nice expression in Arabic or in the dialect, which is il-muhim, which means what is important. That's what it means, literally, what is important. But it's a way of saying like anyway, such and such and such. So il-muhim, yeah, it's just a way of like transitioning, like in just to another topic, or like yeah, just to say like to emphasize like okay, what matters is so and so. But it doesn't really have to mean literally what is important. It's just like anyway, blah blah blah. المهم. Okay, and then here's hey again. Hey بعتتها للمركز الرئيسي. Oh yeah, actually, this is a great. This is maybe I should have titled this video "Everything You Need to Know About Hey." So in this case, okay, so it actually this word is even more versatile than I've shown you. So in one way, I mean, it can refer to like here is something. When you use it with a present tense verb, it can mean or it means like an ongoing action, but it can mean other things too. So heini, okay, let's use heini. Heini is for me, the ni suffix for me. So hey, heini, here I am. If you say heini biddi, so biddi usually means I want or I'm about to do or I'm going to do something. So biddi atla, I am going out or I'm going to go, I'm going to leave or I'm going to do something. Heini biddi is here I am going somewhere, okay? But the way that we would translate this in English is I'm about to. So it's an action that is really just, I mean, it still has that meaning of like something that is very immediate, right? I mean, it's still in the future. I'm about to do something. It's in the future, but it's like in the immediate future, right? So, هيني عم بطبخ. Right now, well, actually, هيني عم بطبخ means I'm cooking right now. هيني بدي أطبخ, I'm about to cook. And in this case, hey بعتت, it's in the past tense, hey بعتتها, it actually, I don't know why it's translated as I'm sending it right now. Rather, it's more like I've just sent it, right? So it's in the past, it's in the immediate past. So let's say that this word basically conveys like a sense of immediacy. So here is something, but also like I'm doing something right now, or I'm about to do something, or I've just done something. So hey بعتتها, like I've it's like I'm sending it, but it's like I've just sent it really. So I've sent it to Al-Markaz Al-Raisi, the headquarters, basically. Al-Markaz is the center, and Raisi is like the main center, so it's like the headquarters. So I've just sent it to the headquarters. وأكيد, and of course, and certainly, راح تساعدنا, it's going to help us, نمسك, to grab, to hold, هالمجرمين, these criminals. Mujrim is criminal, mujrimin, criminals. So it's definitely going to help us catch these criminals or grab, literally. Ushukur, and thanks, it's a noun in this case. And thanks, la Abu Sanad kaman. And thank you to Abu Sanad also, right? And then Abu Sanad answers, Hada wajibna, this is our duty. Wajib is like, yeah, a duty. I mean, often you like, I mean, the first definition that you'll get from this if you're studying Arabic or a dialect in a classroom, it's homework. But in this case, it doesn't mean homework. I mean, it could be like wajibati is my homework, right? But in this case, but literally means duty. So هذا wajibna, this is our duty. This is what we should do, you know, report to the police that something happened or whatever. Okay, and then the police says, خذوا يا أولاد أوراق تعليمات السلامة وإجروها منيح. He speaks with a very, I like his accent. It's his qaf is ga, but it just sounds very, very ga. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, خذوا يا أولاد أوراق تعليمات السلامة وإجروها منيح. That's what he sounds like. So خذوا, take. So yeah, أخذ, he took something, he got something. خذوا يا أولاد, take kids. أوراق, papers. Yeah, let's say, yeah, papers. تعليمات السلامة. So تعليمات or تعليم means education. تعليمات is like educations. I mean, information. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know what it's like. It's the same way that you say معلومات as, and in English we say information, but clearly معلومات is plural in Arabic. It's the same thing, like education, but or information, but in Arabic we've said تعليمات like as a plural, but don't overthink it. I mean, that's just how it's just different phrasing, or like different ways that English and Arabic use these words. So it doesn't really matter too much how you translate this. Safety information, safety. I mean, I didn't want to put safety education. That seems kind of strange in English, but anyway. So take kids, these safety information papers. There were like some pamphlets, right, about what to do with strangers. And اقروها منيح. قرأ, read, to read. اقرأ or اقرأ, read something. اقرو means read, in plural. اقروها, read, well, read her or read it, but in this case, remember, non-human plurals in Arabic are treated as feminine. So أوراق, papers, is اقروها. So read the papers is اقروها, not اقروهم. Hum would be people. So yeah, اقروها, read the papers and read them well. منيح. وزعوها, again the ha referring to the papers. وزع means to distribute something. So وزعوها, and distribute them, the papers, على أصحابكم وجيرانكم. So وزعوها على أصحابكم وجيرانهم, and distribute them, the papers, with or among your friends and neighbors. جيران, neighbors. عشان نوعيهم كيف يتعاملوا مع الغرباء. So عشان, in order to, نوعيهم. Okay, this is a nice word because it's actually form 2 of the verb. Like, remember we had owak, so like I refer to it as like don't do something, but technically it comes from be aware of something. So be careful about something or be alert about something. So that's form 1. And what we see here is wa, which is form 2, which means to make someone aware or to make someone alert. So it's basically like to warn someone or to make someone aware of something. So owak, taridu, so don't repeat something or be aware of, or like be careful not to do something. So, and whereas in this case it's عشان نوعيهم, so that we can like make your friends and neighbors aware. كيف, how to, يتعاملوا. تعامل means to interact with someone or to deal with someone. Yeah, basically to get along with someone, not necessarily get along in a positive way, but how to deal with someone. So how to deal with or how to interact مع الغرباء. So عشان نوعيهم كيف يتعاملوا مع الغرباء. So that we can warn them or to make them aware of how they should, and that's why it's in the subjunctive, يتعاملوا, so how they should or how they ought to interact with strangers. The should or the lazim or mafrud or whatever it would be, it's implicit, but yeah. So to make them aware of how to interact with strangers. And then he goes on a little bit of a soliloquy. بعض الأشخاص الغرباء. بعض, in this case, this is a very, has several meanings, this word. It can mean each other. So زي بعض is like each other. عن بعض, from each other. ضد بعض, against each other. مع بعض means together, actually means with each other. But however, actually the meaning in Fusha and in some cases in Armenia, it can mean some of something. There's actually several words to say some, like undefined number, plural. In the dialect, you can say akam or kam, but you can also say bad. So it just means some strangers, although literally it means, so ashkhas is, so shakhas is one person, ashkhas is persons. So bad al-ashkhas al-ghuraba, some strange persons, literally, or some strangers, basically. Some strange persons. يمكن يبين لطفين. So here's bayan again. So bayan, remember, it's like to be visible or to appear, right? So it's kind of like to seem, right? So actually, okay. So actually, maybe I'll just give a little quick lesson here. Um, I think I've mentioned in either in a video or maybe like on Patreon on a post or something, I've mentioned the word sheklu or the word shekel being shape or form as a way of saying something seems a certain way by adding a suffix. So shekel means something's shape, but if I say shekel or if I say sheklak, your shape, sheklak ta'ban, your shape is exhausted, that means you seem exhausted. So هو شكله تعبان, he seems exhausted. أنت شكلك, I don't know, حزين, you seem sad, whatever. So bayan is almost could be like I mean it's clearly a different word, but it's like shekel is a noun, right? But if you want to use a verb to say someone is seeming a certain way, um, or appears to is giving off a sense of being something, you can use bayan. So bayan is a verb, shekel is a noun. So shekel is zalame, the guy's appearance, uh, but then bayan, he seemed or he appeared a certain way. So some strange persons, some strangers, يمكن may يبينوا لطيفين. So some strangers may appear nice, بس بيكونوا خطر على حياتنا. But they are, or they be, well, how would you translate this? Yeah, I mean, but they become. I mean, it's not actually the verb become. It's obviously from can, meaning to be, but when you use it in the present tense, it actually conveys a future tense because normally you don't use the verb to be in the present in Arabic. So in this case, it conveys kind of a future meaning, but it's not really a future meaning. It's like it's more about the counterfactual, like, um, I mean, because it's a hypothetical situation. Some strangers may appear nice, but they may be or they become bikunu, yeah, become because it's to be, but in the future. But it's not really the future. It's just like a hypothetical. So, but they may be or they become, let's say, khatar, danger, a danger, it's a noun, but they become a danger على حياتنا, to our life. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna speed through things a little bit now. ما means actually in this case, so sar obviously has many meanings. So there could be, I mean, I actually do have a full video about it, but mabsir is a way of saying like it won't do or one should not, basically. So ما بصير أحكي لأي شخص غريب means I ought not to, or it won't do, or I can't is what I wrote. But I mean, whichever way you want to translate this, like it won't do to, or you shouldn't, or I shouldn't actually, because it's ahki. Um, so it's the police saying this, but it's like I shouldn't speak to anyone who, it's like speaking from the perspective of a child, right? I should not speak to anyone or any stranger, شخص غريب. Yeah, so شخص غريب is the singular of أشخاص غرباء. So شخص غريب, a stranger. I shouldn't tell any stranger معلومات عني, information about myself. أو عن بيتي, or about my house. أو عن مدرستي, or about my school. ولا أركب, or nor, or أركب, to ride or to get on. Well, I mean technically to ride, but also like to get in a vehicle, or get in with them بالسيارة, within the car. أو عن بيتي أو عن مدرستي ولا أركب معه بالسيارة. Yeah. So I should not tell any stranger information about myself or about my house or about my school or get in the car with them. ولا أروح معاه. معاه, by the way, is the same as معه. It's the same thing, literally. I don't know why it's معاه, but yeah. So ولا أروح معاه, or go with him or them. A مكان, to the word to is not technically in here, but it's implied. So or go with them anywhere. Yeah, go anywhere with them. Yeah, even in English you don't use the word to in that sense. So ولا أروح معاه أي مكان ولا آكل أو أشرب أي إشي or أي شيء بقدم لي إياه. So I should not do all these things or go with them anywhere or eat or drink um, anything بقدم لي إياه. This is a good phrase here. قدم means to present or to offer or to submit something, but in this case it's to offer. And here we have two objects. We have a direct object and an indirect object. And in Arabic, because I mean you use the object suffixes, right? I mean like yeah, you know what those are, the suffixes. But you can't have you can't stack them. So if there's a direct and an indirect object, you have to separate them, and the one that stays combined with the verb is the indirect object. So the indirect object is the one who is receiving the action, but the direct object is what the action is actually sort of targeting in the immediate sense. So anything they offer to me, right? So to me, I'm the indirect object, but the direct object is what they are offering because you offer something to someone. So in this case, the direct object, because you have the both objects, so the direct one is iya, and the indirect one is li. So you get a lot of phrases like this. So they offer it to me. بعتت لك إياه. So بعتت لك إياه means I sent to you إياه, it. Remember, I mean, actually, I'm not going to explain the إياه thing, but you can watch my video. I made a whole video about إياه. It's basically like a vessel to take a suffix. It's what I call an object pronoun. But you can watch the video about that. Anyway, okay. حتى لو قال لي, even if they said to me, so حتى لو قال لي تعال أفرجيك إشي. So even if they tell me come so that I can show you something, أفرجيك, فرجة means to show, أفرجيك to show you إشي, something, أو ساعدني بهالإشي. حتى لو قال لي تعال أفرجيك إشي أو ساعدني بهالإشي. So even if they said to me come so that I can show you something or help me with this هالإشي, this thing, لازم أهرب. هرب means to get away, or yeah, to get away. I mean, it means to escape, but it's like, yeah, to get away. So لازم أهرب وأطلب المساعدة. So I must get away or I should get away and get help, ask for help. من حدا بثق فيه, someone who I trust. So someone who I trust him or someone who I trust them. That's why the fee has the ha, because the fee refers to حدا. لازم أهرب وأطلب المساعدة من حدا بثق فيه. I must get away and get help from someone I trust. I trust him. Oh yeah, and then the policeman gets a call, like blah, 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 and then he says, okay, I'm coming now. أنا جاي فورا. فورا, like immediately. This is فصحى, I guess, but anyway, أنا جاي فورا. I'm coming now. And then the father says, شو سيدي? What, sir? سيد. شو سيدي? لقوه. This is لقى means to find something. أنا لقيت, I found something. لقيته, I found it. And oh yeah, and here again we see this ha that changes the stress of the word rather than being pronounced. So la'u, okay, so la'a means to find. La'u means they found. La'u means they found it or they found him. What was it in the other case? It was I don't wait. It was this something with feminine. Well, I'll just use the khalla example. Khalli versus khalli. La'u versus la'u, right? The only difference is that the ha is at the end. It just shifts the emphasis. Let me just check something really quick. Okay, yeah, we're still recording. Okay, and then the police says, hey la'u, they've just found him. Yeah, see, in this case, I did translate it this way. Remember, the hey is for like a sort of emphasizing the immediacy of something. So it's just happened. Hey la'u, they've just found him. وأنا لازم أتوجه للموقع. So, and I must head toward. So, توجه is like to head towards something. Yeah. موقع is a location or a place or a website actually as well. So they've just found him, and I must head toward the location. Yeah. And then he says, أنا فخور فيكم. So فخور means proud of something. So you, and the preposition that is used is fi. So it's not I'm proud of you, it's I'm proud in you. So أنا فخور فيكم, I'm proud of you, plural. جدا, very much. يا أولاد, kids. أنا فخور فيك, I'm proud of you. أنا فخور فيكم, I'm proud of you, plural. And then that's it, basically. Sanad says, وأنتو, and now he's speaking to the audience. وأنتو كمان يا صحاب, and you as well, my friends, or friends in general. إذا بتحبوا تنزلوا تعليمات السلامة. Well, okay. Okay. So yeah, and you as well, friends. إذا بتحبوا تنزلوا, if you would like to. So have means to love, but also to like, but also to like in this sense, like if you would like to do something. So إذا بتحبوا تنزلوا, نزل means to lower something. So أنا نزلت means I went down. أنا نزلت means I lowered something. So it's the form 1 is intransitive, I went down. The form 2, نزل, is transitive, which means I made something go down, I lowered something. But in this case, it means download. So in internet speech, نزل means to download. حمل means to upload, although they're used interchangeably actually in reality, but technically. Anyway, so if you would like to download the safety information or whatever, عشان تستفيدوا منها, to benefit from it. أو استفاد is to benefit, or to make use of it, basically. So in order to make use of it and توزعوها, and to distribute it أصحابكم, among your friends, اكبسوا هون, click here. So اكبس means to push or to click. I'll leave it at that because actually my camera is dying as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was useful. It was quite longer than it usually is, the video, but also the text itself was a bit longer. I think the explanation with the hey, maybe I should make a follow-up video about that because I think that's maybe the most useful word from this particular video. But yeah, I will see you next week. I will figure out what I'm going to talk about next week because of the situation with my computer and so on. But I'll just leave it at that. Have a good weekend.